When we met, I was 20, she was 18, and this was in college. We instantly became friends, spent all of our time together. Short-time lovers too, but never dated, because we were both very much into being wild and free. No youth go to waste. We dated other people on and off, but talked about us, and agreed it was all or nothing. For now it's nothing. A few years went by happily, then her sisters died. It was a car accident. They were 16 and 18. Both were killed in the crash. On arrival in the hospital, my friend was destroyed, completely devastated. It still hurts me to remember it, even now. Her father, though, was even more devastated, to the point where he was willing to starve himself to death, rather than try and keep on living. She moved out of town for a while to take care of him. She cut ties with everyone, even me. I didn't see her for another 2 years. She was so different after that. Before the accident, she was the most joyful, exuberant, positive person I'd ever met. She came back. She was quieter, safer, and possibly wiser. I wanted to be there for her more than anything I could ever remember, more than anything in the world. And I guess that's when I realised I was in love with her. I told her that I loved her, that I wanted to be there with her. She said she couldn't handle this kind of emotional connection for a while. Maybe in a few years, she said. Maybe never, she said. She needed space from me, particularly me. She said she needed time to figure out how to live in a world where her sisters weren't there. She also told me she'd never been happier than when we were together. I told her I'd give her anything she wanted, and she wanted time. At the time, I was 25, and she was 23. We agreed that if we were both still single when she was 30, and I was 32, then we'd get married. That's when we parted ways. She moved to Eastbourne, and I went to Germany for work. I had to get as far away from her as possible. At first we didn't keep contact, but then we started messaging more often. We'd send each other books that we thought the other would like. When I turned 30, I half-jokingly brought up our marriage agreement. I told her I hadn't fallen for anyone else yet. In fact, I compared every woman to her. She was perfect in my mind. She replied saying she was still very serious about our agreement. A year later, we decided to meet to see if the spark was still there. It was very much still there. I found another job back in Eastbourne and I moved back there. I proposed to her. She smiled at me. No fair. We had to wait a few more months till she turned 30. Things were going too well that nothing seemed to matter to me anymore. She died. And that's how this ends. She was hit by a drunk driver. Spent 3 days in intensive care before her body gave out. I went to her funeral. I spoke to her father, but I barely remember what was said. That'll be 4 years ago this November. I'm in therapy trying to learn how to have feelings again, other than a blank, miserable rage. I sometimes wonder if this is what it was like for her. She made progress. She started to feel again. It's the only thing that keeps me going. She'd want me to feel again too.